Warning: this program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions. This is Unshackled Fury.
Avast, ye landlubbers! It's time to batten down the hatches and hold fast to your loot, because this Jolly Roger is ready to sail across the seven seas of Azeroth and into the unknown. So welcome back for episode 144 of your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions, Unshackled Fury. I'm your host, Berserker, and with me once again is the notorious gaming pirate known as Mr. Jez Corden. Welcome back again, good sir.
Are we pirate themed this week?
Well, I think we have to be. I think we have to be.
Yeah, maybe.
I think.
But also, maybe not.
Or maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, we got a news item that might be pertinent to this, but you're back.
Yeah.
You're back from assignment. Last episode, you were off on a secret mission.
I was indeed. I was in London playing Dragon's Dogma 2, which is an upcoming fantasy action RPG kind of game from Capcom, and it's launching on March 22nd. And what I played of it back then was pretty damn amazing. Ooh. Can't really talk about it beyond that though, because now I'm doing the review and I'm under embargo. So. Yeah,
under embargo. Well, there's some shit you don't hear.
Yeah.
It's so fancy. It's so fancy. I don't know what you're doing here, but glad to have you back. And as we record this, it is St. Patrick's Day. My wife has put a nice corned beef and cabbage situation downstairs in our slow cooker and some Irish soda bread, and we're doing it. It's the American way of doing it. But we celebrate. We what do? We sort of borrow our Irish heritage and fuck it up and make it something else, and that is kind of the American way. But it's gonna taste very delicious. I don't know. This seems like a really American. I think we love St. Patrick's Day even more than folks in Ireland do, and it's an actual holiday. They get the day off, I believe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not much of a thing in the UK, but yeah, I don't know. I think Americans just make all holidays to the next level. Like even stuff like Halloween. Like Halloween in England is just kind of it's for the little kids, or maybe it's an excuse for college students to dress, cosplay, go drinking or whatever. But but like some of the scenes I've seen of America during Halloween is like, oh my god, this whole town now looks like it's sort of gothified now.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's what we do.
Kind of cool.
We take it. Any excuse to drink and act like morons. That's what we do. That is our true national gift to the world. That love of the party. That's what we do.
Yeah. I think that's why England doesn't go the extra mile, because we don't need an excuse. It's just every day.
You have actual gothic shit where you are.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We're borrowing the aesthetic from y'all, and then we bring it over here and throw pumpkins on it, and
that's true.
Hey, look what we did.
That's true.
Now we're in the Shadowlands. So, wait, never mentioned that here again.
Oh no. No, we went too gothic. No.
Too far. Went too far. We'll bring it back. This week. Have a great. Let's just change to the next subject. A great metal album of the week, and this one's going to be a little random. because I guarantee that most of you have probably never even heard of this band, but we got it. That's the joy of the metal album of the week. You're gonna learn stuff you didn't know. We're gonna go to the legendary in a maybe a small L way, American power metal band known as Jag Panzer, which guarantee most of you don't know this band, but they've been around a long time. They were formed in 1981, and they've got a crap ton of albums out. But there was one in particular that I really like called Casting the Stones, and this one's actually not too well, 20 years old. Jesus, I'm getting old. 20 years old now, Casting the Stones. And there's one song in particular, The Mission, 1943, which is actually a song about the guns of Navarone, which is one of the greatest movies of all time. And
never seen that. I need to watch that.
It's phenomenal. For what it was at the time, it holds up pretty well, I think. I actually rewatched it recently.
It's kind of one of those movies like everyone says you have to watch at least once, right?
Yes. Yeah. And now they have an epic metal tribute to it, which frankly, whenever I'm getting ready to do something and I'm not really sure what the outcome is going to be, fire this up every time, just jam it in. I'm like, yes, let's go. It's like the guns of Navarone. We're going to go hard charging in and blow some shit up and scale the cliffs and I don't know, do some fun things. But it's
like that mini game in that you do in Dragonflight.
Yes. Yeah, way before, the 3 times that I've done that, but just like that. Anytime you're getting ready to go climb the cliffs in the Dragon Isles, fire this shit up, and you will achieve your heights every time. A fairly quick album, 51 minutes, 11 songs, and this is one I like because you can listen to front to back. You don't really have to skip any songs. All of them are good. Just solid power metal. Real power metal, not like what happened when I was getting operated on, not like whatever the fuck that was. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is the good stuff. So, Casting the Stones by Jag Panzer. That is your metal album of the week. And now, dear friends, rage topic, which we're gonna deviate from the standard path on this one. But it needs to happen. So let's do it. Let's rage. Now, I think you would agree. There's a lot of stuff that's said on the internet that makes you scratch your head. It makes you go, I don't know what happened here, but I see it and it was said. And sometimes you let it go and sometimes say, it's just one of those days. But sometimes there is a thing that is put out there in the universe that cannot go unaddressed. And I want to call your attention to March 9th of this year at 6:30 p.m. West Coast time. A Twitter account that goes by @JezCorden said these words. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm was actually the best Batman movie of all time. And I could not believe I was reading these words in English and that I understood them. And so now, with the man here himself, I have to ask you, how could you say such a thing?
Because I'm mega based. That's why, bro. Look, it's just fact, man. You got Kevin Conroy, the best Batman.
Yes.
You got Mark Hamill, the best Joker.
True.
Basically starring in their own movie with a bait and switch phantasm plot twist thing going down. It was just better. I admit, though, for me, that's a lot of nostalgia doing the heavy lifting there. A lot of VHS nostalgia there, and me as a little kid going, oh my god, they swore in a cartoon, because it had a bit of swearing in it. I felt like the edgiest kid in the world watching Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So yes, I admit there's a bit of nostalgia there. So but yeah, I stand by my opinion, good sir.
Oh my goodness!
Mega based.
Have you even seen The Dark Knight?
I have. It's okay.
Oh,
it's all right.
Oh,
no, I really like The Dark Knight, but man, I've seen The Dark Knight maybe 10 times. I'm kind of sick of it. And like the memes and the people thinking that they're like Heath Ledger, like, oh man, I just started, I guess not the movie's fault, I guess, but like, those Facebook memes like where they use a picture of Heath Ledger and it's kind of like, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry, and there's a picture of Heath Ledger's Joker or something. It's just, oh man, I don't know. It's the Batman for normies, man. It's the Batman for normies these days.
Well, you know what?
No.
Now that I hear you say these words, I agree. There may be some wisdom to this, because Kevin Conroy is no doubt the best Batman of all time. There will never be another like him. And granted, he only portrayed him physically in the real world, I think, one time in a CW show a few years ago. Tragically passed away, what, a year ago, 2 years ago. I actually have right next to me on my wall a framed animated cell from the original animated series, and it's signed by Kevin Conroy, and it's just Batman with like his cape flowing behind him, and it's like one of the coolest fucking things I have in life. Like, if this house caught on fire, it's one of like the 3 things I would grab, because there's no way I could ever replace that. And yes, Mark Hamill, unbelievable. That Joker, so good. And Mask of the Phantasm, when that came out, that was legit, because now it's like, ooh, now it's a movie. Whenever those things make a leap from the small screen to the big screen, oof, it's always big. Like when Ninja Turtles became a real movie. You're like, oh my god, it's really Raphael. Oh shit. But yeah, the Why So Serious memes did kind of kill it. That's true. With the Dark Knight. Although I do love those movies. They are fantastic. So maybe you're onto something, Jez. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe I have to let this one go. And just accept that Mask of the Phantasm. Maybe it really is the greatest of all the Batman movies. So with that said, we have some news. Some, I don't know, big news, medium news. I don't know what kind of news for you to judge, but we're going to get into it and talk about the thing that's on everybody's minds and will be all anyone can talk about this week. So let's jump into it. Before I get into this, what's the state of energy drinks where you're at? Is there a lot of them?
It's interesting. I mean, we do get energy drinks here, but a lot of the chemicals that appear in American energy drinks are banned in Europe and Britain and Germany.
That's what I was wondering.
There's a lot less selection. Put it that way.
Because the homie Rommel has turned me on to these Ghost energy drinks, the brand Ghost, and the flavors are insane. They're like 5 calories, no sugar, but they've partnered with like Sour Patch Kids and what's one of those, like Warheads, and I swear to God, they must be getting like the base flavor from the company directly, because it tastes exactly like you're drinking like a Sour Patch Kids candy. It's crazy.
That's interesting.
Or this one that I've got right now is the orange cream, and it's like an orange creamsicle, if you've ever had one of those, where it's orange on the outside and it's kind of creamy on the inside, and it actually hits first orange and then has a cream aftertaste. It's fucking nuts. But it tastes so good. Anyway, you're not here to listen to that, folks. You're here to talk about 10.2.6. Yes, I know.
I was wondering, is this a sponsorship spot?
Oh God! Listen, if they're out there, you want to sponsor this show? That is one sponsorship I would take. I'll leave a stack of, you can crate them up right here. I'll take all you want.
Our options here are basically Red Bull and Monster. Those are your two options.
That's just like salt and
Pretty
pepper.
much.
I mean, that's just as ubiquitous as it gets. All right, 10.2.6. We've all been waiting for this announcement, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own, as we knew based on Holly Longdale's post not that long ago that it was going to come out in March. It was on the roadmap, had the flag with the skull and crossbones, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's got to be a pirate thing." And we thought it was going to be a pirate expansion, and a lot of questions and rumors and who knows what. And finally, they're like, "All right, we see this week in WoW post last week, and we see that Thursday there's going to be some developer update." And like, all right, it's got to be it. That's what's happening. We'll finally find out what's going on or get some idea. And we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and all fucking day we're waiting. And finally, at 5 p.m. West Coast time, which I can't believe was on purpose. Somebody had to have messed up somewhere. But 5 p.m., they put out a statement, and it's very short, but here's what it said. Mark your calendar for March 19th, which should be the day after this episode drops, when the 10.2.6 content update goes live with a bold, new, limited time event. You won't want to miss out on the fun. It's important to note that Dragonflight Season 4 will go live several weeks after the release of the 10.2.6 content update. For heroes working towards the Amir Drasil feats of strength, you'll need to obtain ahead of the curve for Rock the Blazing before Season 4 begins, and the achievement is no longer available to earn. We look forward to sharing more about the adventures ahead. Stay tuned to the official World of Warcraft site to learn more of what's in store. And they had an image that went with it, and I think it was an image, people sussed it out, it might have been Freehold, and it's the WoW W with a pirate flag behind it, and that's it. So we still basically don't know shit other than Tuesday something's going to happen. Where people have been guessing it might be like an instanced something that has to do with Freehold or pirates. It might be a PvP thing. It might be, another one of these generic kill a rare and loot a thing event that people forget about after a week. Let's run the gamut. And we still don't know. And I guess two things. One, I know that you, Mr. Corden, might have some sense of what is to come. And maybe you can give a little tease of what you might know. But on top of that, do you think that this was the right way to roll this out? Because it seems like the story that's bigger right now is the lack of communication, the delay in saying anything, the sort of like uber secret way that they've done this, and it's annoyed the shit out of everyone. Do you think that this was the right way to do it? Or do you think that maybe they should have given us a little bit more? But maybe start with a little bit of tease for the folks.
Okay, well, I know what it is, kind of, and I'm not gonna leak it because I don't want to spoil their surprise.
Yeah,
they've encrypted it, and they haven't, so data miners can't get it or any inkling like that.
Right.
But I know what it is via sources and stuff. Blizzard sources I've had since forever. The one thing I will say is that the reason they've done it this way will make a lot of sense when it's been announced, and the reason for that is it's gonna involve downloading a separate client. I've heard.
Oh.
So but like, at least that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's like. I also don't think it's going to be like the full WoW client, like another version of WoW Classic or something. But yeah. So this is like, it's a limited thing. It's an experimental kind of thing. If it works out, maybe they'll do more of it. But it's just something they're trying out. And for what it's worth, I think it sounds really cool. And a lot of service games are doing stuff like this at the moment. You know, if you look at what Fortnite's been doing, if you look at what Minecraft's been doing, you'll sort of get an idea about where Blizzard's mentality is regarding this. But I won't spoil the surprise. But it's going to be interesting to see how people react to it. I'll say that's all I'll say.
Okay.
I think it will make sense why they've done it this way, and maybe it's been delayed and a little bit, which is why like maybe they announced it too early. But one thing they have done this content cycle is announce things early. They've announced like 3 expansions early to try and give us sort of like a solid long-term roadmap about what to expect. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm really interested to see what reactions are going to be like.
Do you think that this will override the annoyance that we're seeing amongst the community right now?
I honestly, like, I'm a bit out of the loop. I haven't been on Reddit or anything recently. Are people annoyed about it?
Yes.
Salty about it?
Yes.
What's the thought process there? Is it because like
anytime you're in a content drought, that's always a breeding ground for disgruntlement. And now we've had no hard dates on season 4, and people have kind of done what they wanted.
How many weeks has it been? It's been a long patch cycle, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a bit.
I think it's been twice as long as the previous 2. I saw a graph. I can't remember the graph exactly, but it's like a graph which shows the amount of Mythic Plus runs that have been passed through WoW logs, I think. And it's like, it gives you an idea roughly of how popular each season has been. And season 3 has been the most popular, which is actually weird for a WoW expansion. Usually they're really popular at the start and they get gradually less popular. But there was more Mythic Plus runs than the previous 2 seasons, even at the beginning. I mean, obviously there's going to be more overall because it's been a longer season, but I mean, like the frequency has been higher too. Yeah. So, but yeah, now it's a drought. You know, I haven't been playing either. You know, I got my head of the curve, and thought I'll catch up on the old backlog now while that all plays out. Yeah. But this mini announcement, I might bring me back. Check some stuff out. Yeah.
It's always the hope, right?
I think maybe some people probably will be disappointed with it because of the overhype, and also like the pirate flag and the piratey aspect of it. I don't know if it is very piratey, actually.
Oh.
It might involve the pirate factions, maybe, in some way.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't say too much without spoiling surprise. But
pirates have arrived to the Dragon Isles, and now we have to pledge to a particular ship, and then we're going to sail our ships around.
Not quite, no.
And
it's not going to be pirate ship combat. It's
not going to make people walk the plank, and you know. I like where this is going. Boy, you spoiled everything. Look what you did.
Well, the one thing that interests me about this is like the fact that they are willing to do these little mini experiments, because I'm sure that if this pays off, I'm sure it'll probably make its way into the main client. If it is a separate client, as I've heard, it might not be a separate client anymore. Then maybe they've changed their thought process around some of that stuff. But I'd heard that it was going to be a separate client to download, and I'm sure like if it works out, maybe they would bring it to the main client or retail or classic or something. I don't know. I don't know which timeline this shit takes place in. Come to think of it, you know, or if indeed it does take place in the timeline. If it is just completely separate.
Well, that's a good question, because in Holly's statement, the thing that I picked up on was that it said it would be available to both retail and classic, and so it's kind of like there's like that seems like a tell in that of like, ooh,
Yeah, well, if it was a separate client, then yeah, of course it would be.
So there you
So
go.
I guess the yeah. So I guess maybe it's just like it's not canon or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, it's also the nature of it being limited time. That was one of the other complaints that I saw, was when they said it was going to be a limited time thing, not something that was going to stick around. It's more of the FOMO thing, where like I have to get in right now, or I have to find the time to do this, or else I'll never get to see it again. And there's always this push and pull with Warcraft about limited time availability on rewards, where I remember not that long ago when the Mage Tower was brought back, and people were like, oh, well, I did the Mage Tower back then, and that's a prestigious thing, and fuck all you people that want to get this, or the the stuff that was only in the trading card game, and somebody just dropped like $300 on a mount, and now it's being given away on Prime Gaming. Oh, you fuckers, you screwed me on all this stuff, right? There's always that push and pull between the limited time stuff, and I don't know. I think I've been around long enough where I just kind of accept that that's part of this type of game.
I don't think people will feel FOMO from this, because I don't know if it's gonna have tangible rewards. Potentially. And I think part of the reason they wouldn't do rewards is because it is limited time, separate client. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, because you can't, like, because the amounts and shit are account wide, right? Yeah. So maybe the rewards will be, I don't know, mounts or something. I don't know. That's a lot of that stuff is just I don't know, but we'll see what happens.
Well, and the best part is I'm gonna guess that a majority of the people listening to this podcast, by the time they listen to it, this will all be known. And so, it's like, oh. Yeah. I guess they were.
Well, for posterity, we're recording on Tuesday. No, Tuesday. What day is it?
It's Sunday.
Sunday. I got Tuesday stuck in my head because I got a big deadline on Tuesday. So I just keep thinking Tuesday. It's the
17th of March. We don't know anything. Well, but I don't know anything, and we're kicking around.
I don't know for sure. I don't know for certain.
Yeah.
I just kind of like I've been given hints and stuff like that. So I'll be pretty surprised about it as well. But I've got a good idea about what it is.
Well, the next time you talk to these Blizzard sources, you need to hint to them that Chris Metzen needs to call me on my birthday, because there's only so many birthdays I can go without a call from my dad, and it's really it's sad. So yeah, 10/26. It's going live this Tuesday, and at that point we'll see whether or not the wait was worth it, if the hype was appropriate, whatever the experimental nature of this will be known, and we'll see if it's something that we want to do, and I hope it's fun, because you're right now it's been pretty quiet and people are working on their backlogs. And listen, I have to make sure that I mention our other favorite game. I've been catching up on Cyberpunk while this has been going on. So I did get through my Phantom Liberty playthrough and get the new ending, and oh god, what a fucking masterpiece that thing is. But that's another podcast for another time. But we'll see. And we'll be back next time, and this, I'm sure, will be the number one thing again right out of the gate that we'll be talking about. All of our impressions and thoughts, and if it should continue, and we were on the right track or not, or your sources are fucking around on you, or I don't know. We'll find out. So
we'll see.
Good luck, everyone. What we've also been getting in pretty steady release patterns here are the updated hero talents. And we had a big post a while back talking about the philosophies, what they're trying to get at, how they're trying to design these various trees. And of course, I mentioned the one thing that I wanted to be essentially as a warrior, if you recall.
The Doom Slayer.
That's right. Slayer tree. There's only so many things that go through my mind. And I am fortunate enough that finally this past week I got a glimpse, finally, good look actually, at the Slayer tree for warriors. But before I talk about my thoughts on that, you were actually the first person that I saw who was kind of happy, maybe even excited about his chosen favorite class's talents. And warlocks. Tell us about that.
I've seen a lot of salt about all of the hero talents so far.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people saying like, "Oh God, it's gonna be Covenants all over again. We won't be able to pick what we actually want.
Yeah.
We'll have to, min max and all this kind of stuff." And people are trying to they're trying to figure out like whether things will be underpowered or overpowered. I'm like, how can you possibly figure that out when there's no like. These things aren't finished. There's no like hard numbers on anything. How can you possibly figure any of this stuff out? I thought that was really interesting the way some people are trying to sort of, I suppose, reach there, kind of in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm kind of, I guess I'm in a sense, I'm being a little bit optimistic with it to some degree, because of course, yeah, maybe some of them will be underpowered, maybe some of them won't work properly, maybe some of them will be completely mess up damage rotation and just be a complete nightmare to use and all that kind of stuff. There's a million possibilities why it could be good, why it could be bad, so on and so forth. But from a pure flavor perspective, and purely from the perspective of a lifelong demonologist, going back all the way to vanilla, back in the days of sacrificing my Void Walker and using the bugged Curse of Shadows to get one-shot people with Shadow Bolt, back in the day, all the way back when, I kind of liked what the demonologist sort of talents look like, because it's given me the opportunity to summon demons that have long just been either locked out of being able to be summoned, or just they were there temporarily, and then Blizzard was like, "Oh, actually, now we're gonna take that away again." Because that's happened over the years. Like there was a couple of patches where it was like, "Oh, Doom God's a regular summon now. That's great," and they were like, "Oh, actually, we're gonna take that away." And it's like, oh, damn it, I mean, for demonology, it's always been Felguard, for since the Burning Crusade when they added Felguard. So it was fun when they started adding like temporary demon summons, like the summon your dogs, and then other stuff. I can't remember exactly straight away off the top of my head. I got my damage rotation like down to like it's riding a bike, but like ask me to remember what it is at speech, and I can't do it. But stuff like the Hounds, and even Nether Portal. There was a couple of patches where Nether Portal was kind of viable. But Nether Portal's always fun because like there's just demons spewing out constantly, and sometimes you even get like Malkazar, which is hilarious because he's basically like you summon your own personal Fury Warrior for a bit, which is great.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought it looked really good on paper, and I'm just kind of I'm a little taken aback that people are so negative first without like being a little bit more like, let's wait and see and see where it goes, let's wait and see if it's good, let's wait and see, let's give Blizzard a little bit of faith. I like the fact they're doing this because it continues that trend of adding permanent features to the game rather than these borrowed power mechanics, which I hate borrowed power so much. It was all right in Legion because it was like there was so much attached to that in Legion. There was like the class quests, which carried on patch over patch. I love that stuff. It felt like it was really worthwhile. But then, you got to Battle for Azeroth, and the borrowed power in that was just really boring. It's like, oh, it's just this dumb necklace, which is basically Legion again, but worse. It's okay now. Instead of a million Legion weapons, you get one, and it's a necklace.
Yeah.
Right. Whoop de doo. It felt like a big step backwards.
Yeah.
But then there's also like, but at the same time, right? I will the one negative that I will sort of agree with is that some of the talents seem so much more ambitious than others. Like some of the trees are just like passive, 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 and some of the other trees are like, oh, by the way, now you can summon God himself to smite your enemies, and like one of the Death Knight trees is like, oh, now mounted combat's a thing. It's like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I got to pull my Death Knight out of retirement.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know it's outdoors only, I think, but I think people will whine about that to the point where they just make it anywhere. But yeah, I don't know, man. I get it. On the one hand, you know, especially if you're a long-suffering monk, for example. Like monks feel like the forgotten class to me. Like, it's crazy how monks have basically barely changed since they launched.
Yeah.
You know, it's really weird how much Blizzard hates monks. I don't know why. They're like the least played class, and it's the least played class because they're the class that gets the least love. You know, it's the class that gets the least the least amount of changes to, you know, change flavor, change meta. Because changes sometimes, you know, maybe you hate the changes, so you switch to a new class and you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But this felt like a real opportunity for monks to get some love, for just as an example, or some of the other specs to get a bit of extra flavor and a bit of love. Some specs that really need it. So, like, if you are one of those classes where it's like, I'm desperate for a rework or desperate for some more flavor, and then your options look still lame, I can see why you'd be pissed in that case. But like, as a demonologist who's had several expansions of being, you know, doing pretty well. I mean, demonology's been like high on the damage meters for feels like forever now. I'm like competing at the top of my guild's damage, meter, and I find that to be satisfying. Also, they changed a lot with the talent rework, a lot of changes that I liked. The set bonuses have been cool. The set designs have been cool. I'm a happy demonologist in recent years. So yeah, so I guess I got more reason to be optimistic than some classes, maybe like monks and stuff like that. But I don't know. So some people are way too entitled, man. Like certain classes, just like, I want more, and it's like, man, how much more can you possibly get? You know, I won't name names, but you know, certain class communities, you know who you are.
Name them. Name them and shame them.
No, I won't do it because I've got enough hate in my life.
That's all right. We all know the
it's
priests are getting, you know, some extra feedback, so it's okay. No.
Yeah, they've acknowledged that they've acknowledged the unhappiness with some of them, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Which, to be fair, I mean, they're asking for feedback, and to your point, it's theoretical at the moment because there's no ability to actually play through this and see what this looks like in actual practice. Although, sounds like the alpha is right around the corner here, so people probably are going to get their hands on this before too long. And yeah, that has been the conversation that I have seen repeatedly is covenants. The comparison to covenants for that reason has been, I think, the most common about, well, I may want to do one for a flavor, but I need to do another one because of output or survivability. So this is what I've got to do. And that's the antithesis of what this is supposed to be. So yes, a lot of negativity. So when I saw how happy you were in our Discord, I was like, all right, a happy warlock. Fuck yeah, let's do this. Let's get a little positivity, at least on this end of things. And I know I've been waiting to see, all right, Blizzard, what does Slayer mean to you? Because that could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And so when they posted this was what they wrote. They said, a Slayer has one goal, the execution of their chosen target, and woe betide any who stand between the Slayer and their prey. Slayers are unrelenting in their pursuit and attacks, overwhelming their foes with a furious, unending onslaught of steel. When a Slayer has you in their sights, your days are numbered. Yes, I like that. That feels pretty right to me. So if that is your sight line, okay, I feel good about that. And so then looking at the tree, there's a lot of passivity, oddly enough, for a a Slayer tree where, yeah, it's, your attack speed gets faster, or you can execute more, or execute's worth more, or you can hit somebody else with a Blade Storm, which you can do now. I mean, for me, I like it to be simple. I don't need a whole bunch of extra stuff that I need to push more buttons. This looks like, hey, I get to maybe press one button or two buttons a little more often, and they do more. That sounds great. And a little bit more mobility, where charge, you can remove movement and pairing stuff. And I like the avenue where this is going, but the one thing that I realized the most when I was looking through this was, number one, there was nothing called a Berserker anything, so that was disappointing. Two, there was nothing about truck nuts for your hilts, which I was kind of surprised by that, although I don't need them. But I realized in all of this is that it's about the aesthetic. Like, what does the visual of this look like? And I realized that may actually be the thing I'm more tied to than anything. More than any ability or stat boost or whatever. I want to know, what does this look like when I apply marked for execution? Is it just a little debuff that pops up, or does the character do something? Does it look like it's doing something? Does it feel like it's doing something? I guess that's the thing I need to know. So when we get to the alpha, I need to see these animations. That's really what it is. I realize that it's less about the numbers and it's more about the aesthetic, and that is 100% on target for me, because I'm just not a numbers person. But I was okay with this. I felt good. I know that this will likely change a little bit. I feel like with Warriors, once they have an idea of something, they kind of just stick to it. There's not a whole lot of moving around. I'm sure when Wowhead puts out their post, that'll get some eyeballs, because it usually does, because it seems to be the only place anybody looks at anything anymore. Maybe in Discords. I don't know. Where were all the priests complaining? I guess it was the forums. So, forum feedback.
There's Reddit too. A lot of people complain on Reddit.
There you go. The WoW subreddit does get a lot of eyeballs. That is true. But as a Fury Warrior, I am okay. I'm happy with what I've seen so far. I don't feel like there's anything here that would force me to make one decision or another. I guess somebody will feel compelled to go arms if there's some numerical advantage. But as a lifelong Fury Warrior, I feel good about this. So thanks, Blizzard. And now you can give me a Charlemagne transmog, and then I guess we're good. So there we go. These things keep on coming. I think we had 12 this past week, and so they're continually rolling these out, seeming to get closer to an alpha, which we saw on the chart. The roadmap. Should be happening pretty soon. There's been a couple of, encrypted clients or some of these kinds of things. People are paying attention to this stuff, that these alpha clients have been getting loaded up, and I think there's been a couple of updates to them, although we can't see them yet. So it's coming, folks. It's coming, and I don't know. I feel like one of the two of us may get into that. I don't know that I necessarily belong at the Crystal table in the VIP club anymore. I think I got to sit there for a hot minute last expansion, but I don't know that I will be granted such privileges at this point. But maybe, Jez, maybe with your wide reach and your sources, you'll be able to sit at the Crystal table in the VIP club, while the rest of us at the Bud Light table will be looking on in admiration and envy as you play through your alpha. But if it pops up,
on that topic, man, yeah. I've been in so many alphas. I've been in, even before I was a journalist. Like, I was in the Burning Crusade alpha, because someone in our guild's mate was a guild master. So that was like pure luck. A game master, sorry. And I was also in Wrath, the Lich King beta as well. I think purely because I was in the Burning Crusade beta. I think I also just looked into the Cataclysm beta as well. But you know what? It's a double-edged sword.
It
doing
is.
it better.
It is.
Because it feels like it's almost like spoilers. You see everything like
Yes.
half finished.
Yes.
With those little, white and blue cubes.
Little doodads.
Yeah, the doodads, and it's like, it's almost nicer to just experience it for the first time when it's a finished product, while chilling and actually playing it for fun rather than for content. So I don't know who's really at the VIP table. I think it's all of you. I think it's everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time I think that this group, the bonus roll group, I think we had a seat at the VIP table, or at the VIP within the VIP. Although there is a VIP room in the back of the VIP club that, unless I'm a streamer getting 100,000 views, I'm not anywhere near. I think I get bounced out of there pretty quick when I try to step even 1 foot in there, as has happened when I've asked about things in the past. But as it comes in, I'll probably take a look. I've talked about this before. The Cataclysm beta was the one that I played the most, and by the time Cataclysm came out, I was already burned out on the whole expansion because I'd seen too much. And I was like, I blew it. And so you're right. It's a double-edged sword. And there's some people that I think if your content is based on streaming and you're allowed to stream that content, it's big eyeballs and you get some dollars out of it. And you're going to see your streamers throwing a lot of that stuff up there. Maybe a little bit more targeted if I get in here, but I will check it out. And of course, I will report back here. And, Jez will too. Assuming he gets in, wants to check it out, and isn't busy gallivanting in other places and other secret get-togethers that are embargoed. But I think we'll be good to that. Meanwhile, going on actually in Azeroth right now, we have this is something that should be near and dear to your heart, the 10-year Hearthstone anniversary event going on.
Hearthstone.
Where now it's every half hour. It was every hour, but now every half hour there are portals that pop up in Stormwind, Durotar, and Veldraken, where it's it was a whiz bang that throws out some mobs, some Hearthstone related baddies that you can kill and loot for some pretty decent items. Talked about this a little bit before. There's a pet, which I'm going to go on the record once again and say no more rats. We don't need any more rats. No more rat pets. No more mice. And I'll tell you a true story. This is a true story. All right. So Lex from oh god damn it, For Azeroth. Oh, my brain is going. For Azeroth podcast tried to trap me on Twitter from something I said on the last episode, trying to claim that I said more rats, and I can't take this back. Well, let me tell you, before I got up here and started recording with Jez, I got a call from my son who was downstairs. He called me on my phone up here, and I'm like, why is he calling me? I'm literally right upstairs. There was a rat in a box downstairs in my backyard, and I had to go chase it out. So I'm telling you, no more rats around here. I don't need any more rats. I don't want rats in game or out of game. And listen, I'm not gonna lie, it was cute, but I needed to go to the trap that I have set over there with some peanut butter in it because it's too big and that's gross and it's gotta go. It's cute, but it's gotta go. But you can get this pet. You can loot this pet. There's a mount, which is a compass rose. It's kind of neat. It's like a flat disc. It's like Goku's flying Nimbus type deal that we had before. There's this 36 slot bag, a Hearthstone, the Stone of the Hearth, which actually has a really neat animation. Looks like you're playing Hearthstone. It's kind of neat. And then some transmog items, a tabard, a hat, and a belt. I really like the tabard, and haven't had that drop for me just yet. But every half hour, you get a chance to go out there and kill some dudes and maybe loot one of these things. And if you log into Hearthstone right now and then go over and log into World of Warcraft, you get a Fiery Hearthsteed mount, which is, in my humble opinion, one of the most badass mounts that we have because it's a goddamn fiery horse. And you can never go wrong with a fiery looking horse, and it's got big fiery wings and the whole deal. And I think it was a store mount, or is a store mount at one time, or it was very similar to one. But going on till the 22nd. That's the other thing. They did extend it for a few days. It's going on until March 22nd. So this week and this week only will be when it ends on Friday. And I mentioned when I first started this piece that you have a special connection to Hearthstone, I believe.
Kind of. I mean, I've played a fair bit of Hearthstone. I'm by no means pro or like. This is the thing about Hearthstone. It's like you have to constantly play it to keep up with the meta and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Until they added Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which is a lot more friendly, I think, if you are someone who plays it every now and then. So like Hearthstone Battlegrounds is like it's like an auto battler. You get given random cards and you just sort of set them out and try and do combos with them. You don't have to build a deck. You don't have to deal with any of that stuff. You don't even have to buy microtransactions. I think all the Hearthstone Battleground stuff's cosmetic, for the most part, except for the leaders.
Well, didn't you leak something related to Hearthstone?
Oh right, yeah, okay. You're talking about that? Yeah, I leaked the Death Note stuff on Twitter. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I think I leaked something else as well. But
you're gonna be sitting at the Amstel light table with us forever.
Yeah, I kind of regret that one. But you know, live and learn. Live and learn.
That's how it goes. But yeah, right now, it's a pretty quick event. You can go and play at the Hearthstone tables there, and there's a little quest involved in it. It's short and sweet, and it's kind of neat to see the Hearthstone stuff in Azeroth. You know, clearly the artists had fun. It all looks pretty legit. And you have lots of opportunities if these portals are popping up every half hour. That's a lot of opportunities to get at these things. I can't do math, but I believe that's like 48 opportunities in a day. That's a lot. So
that's a lot.
If you don't get the stuff, it's probably not the drop rate. It's probably because you didn't stay up late enough. Would be my guess. So that's until March 22nd. So get out there, have some fun, and I know there's some of these articles up on Wowhead and other places if you want to know more specifics about it. But that is pretty much what you need to know. Another news item that I was interested in getting your take on, since I don't know that we've necessarily talked a lot about Race for World First stuff, is Big Dumb Gaming Guild disbanded. And they are one of the few long-running, well-known groups that engages in the Race to World First stuff. They're one of the longtime contenders in there. After 10 years of running, they have disbanded and are retiring from competitive rating. And there's a big post up there on their site, and they talked about kind of the reasons, you know, loss of sponsorships and players and leadership issues. You know, honestly, a lot of stuff that regular guilds have to deal with, except for the sponsorship stuff, which clearly most of us don't. But it got into a larger discussion, and I even had a brief Twitter back and forth with Kexman, who's sort of a fellow bonus roll. I don't know, used to be part of bonus roll, but he's out there in the gaming Warcraft universe, and he had mentioned how the loss of Big Dumb Gaming is a huge blow to the Race for World First, and kind of went into more of a discussion about how Blizzard needs to get into this because it's all unofficial and they need to do something and put more money into it, and it's good exposure for all of these people, places, and things. I have always kind of had this, I don't know, probably not the most generous view of the Race to World First, which as an organization, when Bonus Roll was Warcraft Radio, Race for World First content was their bread and butter, their jam, and I don't know if there's anybody here that's really doing a lot of that. I think Manny from For Azeroth is casting some stuff, and there might be some other groups that are running these things, but I have always felt like it's a problem, actually, because you only really have 4 maybe top end groups that practically kill themselves to race through this stuff as fast as possible. I feel like the development team is building things around this, and for a group that essentially doesn't do much after the race for world first ends and interest in all of it declines. So I don't know if I care as much if the race for world first doesn't have this super high visibility, because I don't know that it's got the best relationship with the game and the community to begin with. But as somebody who has their finger on the pulse of a lot of these high-end situations, what's your take on, I guess, this guild disbanding, the race for world first, where it sits, should Blizzard get involved, anything and everything?
Well, I think one thing you've got to understand, right, is that now they're part of Microsoft. And I think one thing that a lot of long-time Activision Blizzard fans of the high-end stuff, especially esports, they're going to learn that Microsoft really doesn't care about esports. They don't see it as a thing, and when you look at the math and the money, or the lack thereof, they're not wrong. You know, the money isn't there to make esports viable. You know, we've seen it with the Overwatch League. Oh, man. We've seen it with other things. Overwatch League sort of shut down, kind of, and reorganized into something else, which has less money involved, you know. And if you like, there's a lot of great documentaries about this, but the esports thing was like, it's kind of like a big bubble, you know. There was a lot of money and venture capital being thrown at these organizations, which is why, like, you know, for a time it felt like, oh, this is actually going to be a thing, you know, because there was a lot of money being thrown around. But that's the thing, it was all venture capital back in the day when interest rates are low, and, like, you know, not to get super financial about all this bullshit, but back when interest rates were really low, it was easy to just dump a load of venture capital into this kind of stuff and just be like, well, you know, we'll write it off or whatever. Yeah, we talked about this with relation to, like, the layoffs and why all that stuff happened. Yeah, I guess so. But now, like, figure the Tauren have come home to roost. Wait, no, it's chickens roost, not cows. Man, what am I talking about? What do cows do? They eat grass. Yeah. Taurens have come home
to chew the cud.
Grass. Yeah, whatever. The Arakoa have come home to roost.
There it is.
That's obscure. But and now, like, these venture capital firms are like, oh shit, we want our money back now. And, like, all these esports firms are going bust, and all these, like, advertising sponsorship firms that specialize in esports, though, they're going bust. And as a sort of cascading knock-on effect across the whole esports, the whole idea of esports, frankly, the whole idea of it, the very concept of esports. So you're going to see Microsoft pump less money into it because they don't think it makes a lot of sense. And you're going to see venture capital dry up, which means sponsorship dries up, which means guilds that are based on sponsorship, they're probably going to pack up, and you're going to see fewer and fewer guilds are going to be of a mindset where it's like, oh, well, this is actually viable for us to do. It's going to just sort of decrease over time, and to a point where there's just not a lot of people left doing it, you know, which is kind of sad. And I know you say, like, it's a double-edged sword, though, because you talked about how the devs have to basically, Mythic Plus is pretty much designed around the Race to World First, and not Mythic Plus, sorry, Mythic Raiding is designed initially, at least, around the Race to World First, and then over time they gradually nerf the race to they gradually nerf
the raids,
the mythic raids to accommodate regular mythic raiders, and then they gradually nerf them even more to accommodate less than regular mythic raiders, you know. So there's almost like a live ops component to the race to world first, because they nerf things almost in real time, especially if there's bugs or something or an exploit's discovered, because they will test that shit hardcore to figure out, like, you know, ways of breaking things, you know. Stuff like that. And we've seen it happen time and time again where there's these controversies because something's been broken and whatever. So there is a dev cost involved with regards to that too. However, at the same time, whenever the race to world first is happening, World of Warcraft ends up on the top spot of Twitch, which is an enormous amount of marketing. You know, it's you know, the visibility when you're at the top of Twitch is a huge amount of marketing, and you know, these sort of influential types and the influencers who play the game and, you know, love the game and stuff like that, they influence people to play and try it out and stuff in oftentimes when, you know, regular marketing won't work, and or press don't want to play it because it's chicken and egg, you know. Like, even, like, just speaking of myself as press, like, it's hard to make money covering World of Warcraft because you know, the community's so the community there is so mature. And they've got their specific places they like to get their information, like Wowhead or Reddit or whatever, or the Discords even. So like it's absolutely pointless for regular legacy press to cover World of Warcraft unless you're covering it from the angle of, like, for new players, you know. So like one of my articles, which is like, should you play World of Warcraft in 2024? That's like one of my highest traffic articles.
Really?
Yeah, it is, because like people Google that, like, and I keep it updated for every patch and stuff like that, and there's no one else really bothering to do that. But beyond that, there's just no money to be made covering that game. So for stuff like Twitch, like the less than traditional marketing cycle, it's like it's a huge benefit to the game, I think. It'd be more of a benefit if the new player experience was good, which arguably it ain't. But you know, it's
Do you?
So yeah, I kind of see the pros and cons of it, I guess.
Do you notice like a correlation between when, like, let's say Race for World first is happening and it's big time on Twitch and it's, you know, up in the higher ranks of viewership, to the article hits that you get? Is there a direct correlation between that kind of traffic?
Not that I've noticed, but I haven't really considered looking. So maybe I'm an idiot. You know, I should probably do my job and actually check that. But there's definitely like I'm sure Blizzard notices an uptick, which is why they keep doing it. Which is why they've kept it going. You know, that clearly there's a benefit that they can tangibly measure, or I don't think they'd bother doing it. You know, so.
That's probably
so I think it is an issue when these big guilds quit so publicly, and it sort of, you know, it sort of casts a shadow in a way over the state of the game and like stuff like that. But it kind of happens all the time, you know. Big guilds fold. You know, whether they're a public big guild or not. Like raiding at that level is a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of.
It's
yeah,
nuts.
it is. It is nuts. It's a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah.
I find heroic raiding to be hard work, and it's
yeah.
You know, I remember back in the day when I was doing like, I'd done like server first for like 2 patch cycles, and that was like Ice Crown and Ulduar, like, and I was raiding like 7 days a week at that point. I was unemployed, so it worked. But like, there's just no way I could ever do that now. There's just no way, you know.
Yep.
So I've got a huge amount of respect for people that do raid that hardcore, but it's just not a sustainable way to play the game, I feel like, you know.
No, and that's why I'm sure the sponsorships are important, because then you're able to, you know, get food and pay for
treat it like a job.
Yeah, and you can pay for people's time and do all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't want anybody to have the impression that I'm slighting skill or dedication. Like the ability to sit and focus and do just that activity at that level is it's incredible. Like I'm not going to sell anybody short. And I think part of the issue that I have is those groups are so limited. I feel like it's the same people all the time, and it just, I don't know, it gets boring, and it shouldn't be. let alone the game tuning and everything else. And then, it's endemic of every group. And I've said many times on this show, I have my own ego problems, but seeing some of the individuals that come out of these groups and the way that they sort of lord themselves over the community or behave in public or other places, it also does not necessarily leave a good taste in my mouth. So I was sort of like, if it took some of these folks down a peg, I don't know that I would be upset to watch that, but that's just my own shitty personal human problem. So yeah, it's always interesting to see when these big guilds go down, and I'm sure others will take their place, because you're right. If Blizzard sees value in having this still occur, then we will undoubtedly see this continue in War Within and the World Soul Saga. Now that you're on this episode, one of the things that I wanted to get your take on, because there's nobody better than you to talk about this one. Diablo 4 is now on Game Pass. And now this is not a Diablo podcast. I know it's World of Warcraft, but it's in the same family. And this has, I believe, if I understand this correctly, huge ramifications on the future of Blizzard titles and World of Warcraft, and some things that people have been asking for and kind of expect. And now we're seeing these things start to happen. So for folks that maybe aren't as tied in with the Microsoft side of things, what does this mean to have Diablo 4 on Game Pass? And then the next step is, what does that then mean potentially for World of Warcraft?
Well, Microsoft's all about Game Pass. They're basically trying to change the industry.
Which is what? What is Game Pass?
So Game Pass is a subscription service. It's analogous to Netflix, kind of.
There you go.
You pay $10 a month at the minimum tier, $15 a month for the maximum tier. You get hundreds of games on PC and Xbox consoles, right? Now, this means that instead of paying $70 for Diablo, you pay $15 a month and get Diablo for Xbox or PC on the Microsoft Store. Now, there's some caveats to that. First of all, it's not the Steam version. It's very much the Windows Store version. So people who don't like the Windows Store, Microsoft Store, whatever they call it these days, they ain't going to be very happy about that. The other caveat is that, again, if you stop paying $15 a month, $15 a month, you lose access to the game. But you don't lose your save progress, because it still all goes through Battle.net.
Okay. So
your save progress will stay forever, whatever, and that's all good, right? So then, so what does it mean really for World of Warcraft players? To be honest, nothing. It doesn't mean anything for World of Warcraft players right now as of today, this minute. However, it may mean things down the line, and not necessarily, because a lot of Xbox fans ask me this a lot, and one of the things they ask me is, when's World of Warcraft coming to console, for one thing.
Yeah,
I believe it will come to console eventually. But Blizzard's gonna have to really analyze what that looks like, because the game revolves around add-ons today, and the difficulty of the game really does revolve around having, damage meters and stuff like that, and a mouse and keyboard. I honestly don't know how I would be able to play disc with a controller.
I don't know.
Yeah, like I basically play Demonology and Discipline as my two main specs these days. And I can't even get my head around how I'd be able to play disc with a controller. Like, I can barely play it with the mouse and keyboard, frankly. And you got mouse over macros and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like, disc gives me a headache. Like, I have to play in small bursts. So like, how do you reconcile that for a controller? I don't know. But it's mostly like targeting party members and stuff like that. Like, how would they handle that? I mean, the other option there is like, just make it so you have to play it with the mouse and keyboard, and you can play games with mouse and keyboard on Xbox. You play Age of Empires on Xbox with mouse and keyboard.
Oh,
but But yeah, I don't know. That's a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
But one thing people ask me really about is, will the subscription be included in Game Pass? So can I get Game Pass and World of Warcraft at the same time? And I think the answer to that is quite honestly no. And that's because World of Warcraft is a mature business model with a cash flow model that absolutely needs that subscription, right? And it's not really factored into Game Pass that it will also be something that funds World of Warcraft, you know? They're two separate business models, which is why I don't think you'll ever see WoW in Game Pass. But one thing I do think you might see is perks and benefits and bonuses as part of Game Pass for World of Warcraft. Because right now, today, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, every month you can get a mount, a pet, or some random bullshit for World of Warcraft, right?
Yep. Tabard.
Today. That is on a contractual basis, and that contract with Amazon, that will expire. Riot's contract with Amazon Prime Gaming is about to expire. And I think Riot's going to start putting those benefits into Game Pass, because Microsoft and Riot have a really big deal right now, where if you do have Game Pass, you get every single character for League of Legends. It's like, that's a huge deal. So like, one thing I've heard that they're doing, for example, and I don't think this is out there, but I'm just going to share it anyway. So, oh well, if someone gets mad at me.
Let's do it.
Right? It's I've heard that Heroes of the Storm, you'll be able to play all Heroes of the Storm characters if you've got Game Pass, for example. You know, and that's kind of like an obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
If they're doing it for League of Legends, then why wouldn't they do it for their own?
It's a
mobile?
good lateral.
Yeah, it's a good lateral. So, but also there's things like Hearthstone card packs they could do. If you got a Game Pass Ultimate, maybe you get like so many Hearthstone card packs a month, which is something they do with Amazon Prime today, and you know, other things like that. You know, so I think like there will be benefits to subscribing to World of Warcraft, subscribing to Game Pass for World of Warcraft players down the line. Who knows? Maybe that could include WoW Classic in Game Pass, just WoW Classic. But if you want retail, then you still have to get the proper subscription, and maybe get the full blown subscription, and maybe get you know, the expansions as well and stuff like that. Or maybe even like they include the expansions in Game Pass or something. But I think WoW's live ops really does need that specific subscription. So yeah, I don't think WoW subscription will go away, but I do think there'll be benefits for Game Pass players down the line.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, clearly there's gonna be something. I mean, they're gonna be quiet about it until it hits. But if they did something like that with Heroes of the Storm, that seems like the right kind of fit for that relationship. And yeah, it's as somebody coming into the Microsoft sphere and only sort of paying attention to it on the periphery, it's interesting to watch this marriage now begin to play out in real. And when Diablo 4 was announced on Game Pass, I just saw people losing their shit all over the place about how excited they were and how happy they were. You know, Nav, former co-host of this show, Navox, and you know, my friend, he has always wanted to see World of Warcraft on, you know, Xbox or console or Game Pass or something. And I know he couldn't have been the only one that's been begging for this all these years. So yeah, it seems like a first step into a larger world. Yeah. And
there was Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn is about to launch on Xbox. That is a game that you can play with console controller.
Okay.
At least some classes pretty decently, but you know, it's also very easy. You know, it's a very, very easy game compared to World of Warcraft, I would say. Like if you, the way I play Warcraft, like you know, Mythic Plus and heroic raids, I don't feel like you'd be able to do that with a controller, like you can in Final Fantasy. But even like Final Fantasy's own game director has admitted that he thinks Final Fantasy XIV has become too easy, and he wants to make it. He wants to add friction to the game or something. I don't know. We'll see how that looks, but yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting path ahead for the whole Xbox, World of Warcraft, Blizzard, Diablo paradigm. Like, will we see Hearthstone on Xbox? I don't see why not. You know, a Unity game, easy port potentially. Could we see, you know, other classic Blizzard games hit Game Pass? I think so. I mean, there's, you know, they did that Blizzard Classic collection a while ago. I think you could see like Warcraft. I think you will see Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 on Game Pass. I think for definite. Like any of the retail games, yeah, I think those will be on Game Pass. But anything that requires live ops, I don't think you'll see those in Game Pass unless they have, you know, specific extra things on top of it. Like with Diablo, Diablo, the live ops is funded by the skins, you know, the store and stuff like that.
So
at least for now.
So if I understand this correctly, what you're saying is that the first-person shooter StarCraft 3 will be a Game Pass exclusive. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me.
Yeah, if they are doing a StarCraft shooter, and I think they will. I also think they'll do a StarCraft 3 as well. Microsoft loves strategy games. They love strategy games. So, you know, Age of Empires 2 is one of Microsoft's biggest games still to this day, and they want to nurture that for StarCraft, I think, as well. So, yeah, I think you would see those in Game Pass, much like you saw Age of Empires 4 in Game Pass. You'll see Gears 6 in Game Pass, and I think you'll see StarCraft 3, the shooter, in Game Pass. Anything retail being Game Pass.
There it is.
But WoW is a completely separate business, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're looking at the future, and it is new and different, and you know, it's great that we have you as sort of as a guide to help, I think, all of us along on this journey and get us familiarized with this new side of the business. And as it comes up, we'll keep taking a look at it, and curious to hear any and all of your thoughts out there in Warcraft community land. If you want this on Game Pass, let us know. And before I jump into this next one, I forgot to link to you this article that I am linking to you now in our chat. This is the March trading post that I'll be reading down as we go along the ratings. All right.
It's opening.
What? You got it?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got it. Sorry.
Okay.
It's on the wrong monitor.
And finally, this is, oddly enough, going to be our only episode in the month of March, because I pushed this out a week because I got busy. So this will be our only episode of the month of March. So we have to do the March trading post ratings on this episode, because the next time an episode drops, it's going to be April. So have some interesting choices this month. Have some great returning ones. And some other interesting ones. So I'm going to start off right here. First, number one, with the Majestic Azure Peafowl mount for 750 traders, tenders. Here we go.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And let me tell you why, Jez. Let me tell you why. Because I know what a peafowl is. Believe it or not. Most of us here, I think, in the States are familiar with what is known as the peacock, which has the big feathers and the whole gimmick coming out of it. I don't see that here. I see an approximation, and it's got a helmet and some magic wings and stuff, but no. I need the big full plumage, bro, at all times, night and day, and they let us down on that.
But maybe it's a girl peafowl, because only the males have that plumage, right?
Oh, I see. That's the peahen.
The peahen, yeah.
It's the peahen. Well, I'm sticking by
I don't
my
know.
rating.
I'm just playing devil's advocate, bro.
Could be. Next up, we have the Delicate Jade Parasol toy for 200 trader tenders.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the goat. The goat.
This is a good ass toy for 200. And you can float all over the place. And people are loving it. People love this toy. It's getting all the juice. As people, this might be the MVP of this entire month, I think, because this is the only one I've seen people talking about, for the most part. Next up, returning, and if you have the 15th anniversary edition of World of Warcraft Collector's Edition thing they put out, they did have the Alabaster Storm Talon and Thunderwing mounts. You know what I think of those?
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I love these mounts, Jez. With
It
650
is a cool mount.
these are cool
I
as
don't
shit.
think I have them.
You
I need to go.
buy them.
I need to go and get them. I haven't done my. I'm slacking off so bad. I haven't even done my traders this month.
That's why you got to get down. I'm giving you all you need to know right here. This is it. This is gonna be your shopping list right now. Next up, we're gonna head over to some armor transmogs, and first up we have the returning fabulously flashy binary shirt for 50 trader tenders.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
It's okay, you know. It's nothing to write home about, but it's not offensive. So for 50 trader tender, get a little extra shirt, no problem. But next up, here we go. Regal War Cloak for 50 trader tenders.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I love this cloak. Everybody should have this cloak. It is
Ugh.
it's in Alliance
Alliance
colors.
suit.
I know. Come on, baby. Come
Ugh.
on. Feel the
Ugh.
fantasy, Jez. Feel the fantasy.
The only way that cloak can be improved is if it was incinerated in a plume of
I
fell
know.
ash by Gul'dan.
Don't listen to him.
You know?
Don't listen to him. This one's great. Next up, I'm gonna take these together because they're essentially the same thing. The Dueler's Aquatic Shoulder Cape and the Dueler's Cloudy Shoulder Cape, which they show as one, but they come as a two-piece.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
Now, I did love the first one that they showed, and I love this concept, but I'm a little annoyed that we're not getting the colors that I want. That's it. That's why. For 75 trader tender, they're a nice little flourish, but we're not quite there on my Silver Hand Paladin Arthas fantasy that I've been waiting for. So we're almost there though. We're getting there. Next up, the flowing aquatic gloves for 100 trader tender and the classic aquatic tabard for 100 trader tender. We're gonna take them together.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
They're okay. I need a little more embellishment on the gloves, and I don't know if I like the tabard that just barely covers my junk. You know, I need I need a little bit more. It might get problematic there. Next up, the Trader's Aquatic Sarong and the Trader's Cloudy Sarong for 100 trader tenders.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
You could do more with this. You could do more with this. You could put some trim on it. You know, some nice gold trim. Maybe some other colors. Like there's possibilities here. And this is like a half unfinished piece of something on Project Runway that just needs to. I don't know.
Project Runway.
This ain't it. This ain't it. Next up, we're going to take these together. The Vagabonds Aquatic Threads Ensemble and the Wanderers Aquatic Trappings Ensemble for 100 trader tenders each.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
The cloak, the headpiece and the cloak. I love all of these. They're all great. And this is a great color. This is an awesome color. Good for spring. Good for March. Awesome. Next up, the Gossamer Teal Gown for 100 trader tenders.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
It still only barely covers my man titties, but you know, it's got good trim, got a nice shape to it. It's okay. It needs a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like on a Warlock, Jez, but it was doing all right over here. Next up, the Lost Crown of the Arcane for 200 trader tender.
that's what I'm talking
It's from the store, right?
That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Is this from the store? I don't remember this from the store.
Oh, maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
It's cool as hell, though.
There are some crowns in the store, but maybe not.
There were, yeah. But I like this one. Anytime you've got, you know, kind of this multicolored thing and some fire and some stuff going, I would never wear it, but I think it looks cool as hell. So, and for 200 trader tender, that's a good cost. Next up, the Guys of the Royal Masquerade and the Guys of the Shining Masquerade 200 trader tenders. These are like mask looking things.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
It's kind of like a mask that you wear at a party. You know, nothing crazy. Nothing to write home about. But, you know, either way, it's not offensive, but it's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Dragon's Dogma 2 players are gonna enjoy that transmog a lot
Oh, there you
for
go.
reasons.
inside tip right here from the man under embargo. Next up, for 800 trader tenders, a big one. The Sky Captain's formal attire. This is the head, chest, legs, feet, cloak, set. Here we go.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Would I wear it? No. You will never see my warrior wearing this. Do I think it looks neat? Yeah, it's pretty rad. And this is definitely somebody's aesthetic. I don't know what game it is. Jez, you might have a better handle on it. It's maybe pulling from something. But that is a solid ensemble.
Yeah, maybe it's inspired by the Sky Captains from Final Fantasy 12, maybe, or something.
There you go.
I don't know. Maybe.
Gotta be from something. I dig it. I think that one's great. All right, heading over to our weapon transmogs. And there's one here that, when I get to it, it might surprise you. First up, we have the Black Rock Executioner pull-on for 150 trader tenders, which looks kind of old school. Let's hit it.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
It's a blade that's kind of strapped onto a pole with some spikes on it. It's all right. I mean, it would definitely hurt if you hit somebody with it, but yeah, needs a little bit more embellishment. Something to make it next level. Next up, we have the chipped warblade, a one-handed sword for 50 trader tender.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
They gotta put that back in the forge and melt it down. I don't know what the fuck that is. It's I don't know what's happening.
Chipped.
It's chipped. It's a piece of shit. Throw it back. Don't buy that. Save your 50 trader tender. Next up, we have the Jeweled Ripper fist weapon for 200 trader tender.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Again, I won't use a fist weapon, but that is pretty rad. Like it's got full on Assassin's Creed forearm dagger jeweled madness. Like they put a lot of work into that one. I like this one. I don't know. Maybe if I was a monk. If I was a monk, maybe I'd be rocking that. Next up, the Virulent Gavel one-handed mace for 200 trader tender.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Nah, if it's got fell coming out of it, I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to think about it.
Whoa.
Nope.
PTSD, right?
Nope. Yep. You know it. I can't. It makes my heart break every time. Can't see it.
But I think. Hang on a sec. I think is that Varian's arm in there?
How dare you?
Oh man.
How dare you? Next up, the Corroded Agari Defender Shield.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
This got some Naru-ish Dranaic kind of quality to it. But it's
Like a green Draenei.
yeah, like a green Draenei thing going on, and it's okay, but there's sort of like an asymmetrical thing about it that's making my brain hurt. So that's why I didn't take the next step. Next up, we have the returning Jesus Christ, Mephistroth's Razor, one-handed sword for 200 trader tender. Returning, hit it.
that's what I'm talking about. That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
That's a wonderful one-handed sword, but not nearly as good. You already know where this is going. Catastrophe's Edge, two-handed sword, which is an updated Cataclysm's Edge, but it's blue and green and silver and oh, hit it.
That's what I'm talking about. 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 That's why he's there than me. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I really love this one. You owe it to yourself. Even if you can't wield a two-hander, for 250 trader tender, you got to have one of the greatest swords they've ever put out. Next up, Running out. We only got a few left here. Flame Forged Fell Fang Fang. I gotta say this right. Flame Forged Fell Fang. God dang, that's a tongue twister. It's a returning one. One-handed dagger. 450 trader tender.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I told you, no fell, and for 450, way overpriced. You got to haggle on that one. And the last up on the weapons here, the Skyborn Blades Arsenal. 2 one-handed swords in the vein of Kel Sarar and other famous swords for 500 trader tender. This one's gonna surprise you.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I love these swords. I love these swords. And I know that there is a very good reason why they are one-handed. But I need to be able to two-hand wield these fuckers. These are two-handed swords, and you can never tell me otherwise. I don't care how much actual right evidence you have to support that. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Aren't they the Nixia blade from back in the day?
They're like
The
reminiscent of that style. Yeah. And
Why was that called now? I can't even remember.
there was Keldarar and
no.
Kelsarar.
Yeah.
And
Elvish.
they're very cool. And the quest that we had to do, one of them back in Wrath of the Lich King, is one of the greatest quest lines in the game. But they're all one-handers, and it breaks my heart as a two-handed Fury Warrior. But they are beautiful. I love them. All right, last up here. This month's bonus reward is Teal, or Teely. I think it's probably Teal, Teeele. Teal's grandparents told him they were the mice that discovered Azeroth. They were also champion fibbers. It is a blue mouse with big ears, and I bet you know where this is gonna go.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
I have said it once, I said it again. No more rodents. No more rodents in Azeroth. No more rodents in my house. No more rodents in my yard. God, I hope they're not in my attic. Keep them out of my game. Keep them out of my life. I've had enough. This is kind of cute, though. But there's no way I'm going to be working through my Traveler's Log for that one. So that is your Unshackled Fury March Trading Post ratings. They don't have to be yours. But they are mine. All right. I think we've done enough damage for one episode. For those who don't already know, where can the good people find you on the internet, Jez?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at JezCorden, JZCYDEN. Also on YouTube, same name, and on Threads. Not that anyone uses it. And also WindowsCentral.com, where I write about all things Microsoft, Xbox, and now Blizzard.
There it is, and got the big embargo getting lifted on Tuesday.
Yep. Don't
Gotcha.
remind me.
Go check your man out. And my thanks to all of you for listening. And remember, you can always follow me and this show on Twitter at Berserker Rage and Unshackled_Fury. On Blue Sky at Berserker and Unshackled Fury, as well as on Twitch at Unshackled Fury and Real Berserker. You can also join our Discord, links for which are in the profile of the show on Twitter and on our bonus roll page. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise through any of those resources or unshackledfury.com. And you can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.